Hey everybody, how's it going? What are you doing? It's Friday. It's time to rank some 8-bit Nintendo games. I am here feeling fresh as we set out on the home stretch of, I was counting the remaining games and like I'm going to estimate that there are probably somewhere between 10 and 15 episodes remaining, depending on the number of games. That we get to every week or whatever. So, you know, a few more months here before we are well and we are finished. So we've got a fresh batch of games to look at this week. Of course, thanks everyone for your support as we have continued this endeavor. You can sign up for the Patreon over at jeff.zone. You get an ad-free version of the weekly podcast. You get access to a special bonus podcast that happens every week. You also get, at different tiers, you can get the ability to suggest games for this list. Wow. As many folks have done. So we have a number of games to get into. Why don't we just get into them here? Let's see. Our list right here, Mega Man 2 at the top. Harlem Globetrotters at the bottom, down here at number 699. That's right, we will have ranked 700 plus games and over the course of the next few hours here. We will have crossed the line. And I guess that 700th game is... Let's see here. It is an unlicensed video game. It's called Tetris. It's the Soviet mind game. Unlike the Soviet mind games we get these days, am I right? Ha ha! This is, of course, the other version of Tetris. There's a documentary out. There's a film. If you want to know the history behind the two versions of Tetris that are available on this platform, you can go find that. You can go find that. That's what I said. Yeah, but because I don't have the strength to break it all down. But you know, there's this unlicensed version of Tetris that Atari assumed they had the rights to, and all this other weird stuff that has been dramatized. I just saw the scene about this chopped up and thrown onto TikTok. This version of Tetris was renowned for being the first really expensive video game I can think of, because as soon as it went out of stock and the NES was still getting new games and everything else, this version of this game was going for like $200. And I remember thinking that was insane. I had opportunities to get my hands on this game, but never did. And then it got expensive. And then you realize, like, oh, this is, I don't know. Well, you know, we'll get into it here. But I guess I didn't know that Ed Log programmed this. That's interesting. Okay. All right. truly the ancient early days of Tetris before things like holding pieces or, you know, any of the things that, you know, would become the hallmarks of modern Tetris, right? What am I doing? I'm already fucking this up. You know, when you can't hold pieces, it's, you know, you gotta... Yeah, this is terrible. You know, don't live stream Tetris. There's some games that I feel like it's a good policy to just be like, you know what, no good can come from this. We get this little piece distribution chart over on the side, which is like interesting. We're getting any there? No, of course not. So we fucked it up so bad along the way. We got a Tetris. We did a Tetris. The little like Donkey Kong jack noise when you clear pieces that is a little weird. It just doesn't seem like it fits. It's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's a jaunty little tune. You know, it doesn't compare to... I think that's the kind of the thing is I think Tetris on the NES ultimately is no good compared to, you know, where we would get to in the years following, but also, you know, just compared to the Game Boy version, I think that's just such a better music and a better form factor for the game, and you know, just everything about that Game Boy version is wonderful. I played a lot of the... Whoa! Get it! I did play a lot of the NES version of Tetris. But it's, you know, the Game Boy version's the one you want. This version has a versus mode, which the official Nintendo version does not have. And so that's kind of the, you know, that was always the line on this, was like, oh yeah, you know, it's unofficial and whatever, but like also it's better because it's got a versus mode, and you know, that's fine. I don't think that that's necessarily... Ah, geez, what am I doing? Fucking up is what I'm doing. Talking and playing Tetris is what I'm doing. See, when you have truly random piece distribution, or, you know, or I guess something that does not adhere to the modern rules of Tetris piece distribution, you, the assumptions that have become built into your brain over when Tetris piece, how often you'll get a straight piece is really breaks you. It breaks me. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm doing terrible. I feel like I'm better than this, but maybe not. I don't know. This song would have benefited from some additional expense on the sound. Like during that little break there, this game could really use a hey! You know, during the little pause there, could use a hey! Got some fireworks. Okay. Versus computer and with computer. So it's got two players, got co-op, and then you can do that with the computer. I like that they just kind of throw the credits in along the way here, like as you're going through the menus. Brad Fuller fucking it up out here. So is there no... Is this before they came up with the idea of garbage? Of sending trash to the other field? I guess so, huh? I'm gonna say that without that, the idea that, hey man, you can play two-player Tetris is actually fucking terrible. This is a fucking nightmare video game. Start a ska band that specializes in just covering this soundtrack. Every time the drums kick in, I get a little bit, yeah, no, I'm into this. It gets me every single time. But like, it's not a particularly good soundtrack. That's just an effective trick. Yeah, now we're moving. That was not the fucking amazing play that I thought it was going to be in my head. All right, we're fine, we're fine. Oh, okay. Oh, it's still, okay, that's not the end. I thought maybe that was like, okay, we've calculated a winner, but no. We must still persist. Hey, you know what I mean? Like just throw a little hay in there. I mean, it is very much the bouncing jack noise from Donkey Kong. Like it's very like similar to that, if not exactly that. Or no, it's the I'm crying because we didn't finish the bonus level of Ice Climber noise. Is what that is. Right? It's Tetris. I don't. You know, this is not. This. You know, did we need 2 versions of Tetris? No. It's nice that they are notably different, because I feel like the official Nintendo Tetris is just lacking in things to do. Which, when the game is Tetris, is fine, I guess, but like. But I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Like, this is... And the idea that I can, like, so thoroughly fucking whip this motherfucker in terms of lines and score and everything, and this match is still going on, is, like, not okay. I just don't care, man. It's a deep hole. These are deep holes that I've made that are not going to get filled. You know what they say about unfilled holes? Like, this should be the end. This should have been the end, like, multiple times by now. If the idea is just you need to hold out until the other player fails, then, like, the speed at which I am playing is probably dumb, too. Like, fast-dropping pieces and playing more. I don't feel like I'm getting anything for my lines and score. You know what I mean? Can I do this? No. Like, I wonder if we're even getting the same piece distribution in the same order, if it even is capable of maintaining that. The thing I will say is I feel much better about this game of Tetris than I do the last one we played in terms of my performance. I feel like I'm digging myself out of holes. I'm creating problems and solving them. This is certainly not high-level Tetris play. I'm not a weirdo, but I feel like this is a much more respectable. Hooray. What would capitalist Tetris look like? Got a secret for you. They're all capitalist Tetris, baby. If it ain't on some green screen ASCII monitor, then it is capitalist Tetris. But like the idea that like if I lose right now, like I would probably, this would be considered me losing the game is you know, it's fucked up. I feel like this has been a winning performance I've turned in here. And I should have won a while ago. And we should have moved on to see the cooperative mode. Oh, I see. I don't even get. I just get a couple of dancers. 0 Tetris.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Also, the other player doesn't go up in level. When I level, his side does not get any faster. So, he's still on level 0, just chilling. Oh, what the fuck is... Yeah, I mean, there's mistakes and there's mistakes. That's just ridiculous. Just pave over this and worry about it another day. Well, like, I kind of just want to lose because what the fuck am I doing? You know, yeah. This is fine. It's Tetris. Tetris is very good. Have you seen Tetris? It's very good. But I think this competitive mode, like for as much as like this game, this version of this game is able to kind of sell itself all these years later as like, well, that's the one where you can play 2-player. It's like, yes, but it's not. This is not the competitive Tetris you're looking for in any way, shape, or form. Like, this is just lackluster, under-designed, and it makes sense. You know, hey, it was the early days. It was before they hit upon like, oh, wait, we got some different ideas that they would have almost immediately after this. They would figure out like, oh no, this needs something else. What if when you got a bunch of lines, it sent a bunch of trash to the other player? Like, oh yeah, that's good. Yes, that solves every single problem that we have with this. Yes, comrade. Oh, fuck you. Oh, wow. Wow. So do you think he's going to catch up? Finally hit level 1. Congratulations. Yeah, this version of the game I think benefited in its day. I think like this game benefited originally because it was obscure, because it was taken off the shelves almost immediately, and so a lot of players only really got to hear about it. Sometimes you could rent it, and I think that's where I first played it, was a rental, but the game had become very expensive, and so the very idea that this had competitive play, in your head you're like, oh well, that's way better than the other one on this platform, and usually that was after the Game Boy, you're like, because the Game Boy version can do competitive play, and that's great, and that's such a cool thing that you can do. And so clearly this is the better version of the game, right? But I put it to you that if this is their competitive mode, this is actually worse. This is worse than no competitive mode, I would say. Because we're just playing Tetris. We're just doing a side-by-side. Just a little Tetris gangbang. The two of us just hanging out. And will there be a winner? I suppose so. We're running it at high speed here, though it's not high enough speed for my tastes. To see what happens. I don't... The idea that this fucker can, like, just slow and steady wins the race me out of this, again, is a criminal act. If this fake man can win by just doing singles and doubles forever, then I'm writing a letter to my congressman. You're gonna reduce sanctions on Russian oil when this is what the... So what is the... So does he not get any post-level bonuses then because I was just getting them? Got more lines, got more levels. I got more score because I was just getting all these Tetrises and all this other stuff. But, like, what is the actual challenge here? What is the actual goal? What is the and do I have to wait for this player to lose in order to like, as soon as they pass my score, will it end? I hate that we're sitting here doing this, but I have to know. Like, as soon as it hits 93,000 points, will it end and say you lost? Or am I going to have to... I'm disgusted by this. This is disgusting. This is such an ill-conceived version of this game. And I think you have to take, obviously you have to take what the modern rules of Tetris, like, I was resistant to them for a good long time about how they handled spinning and the idea that they took some of the randomness out of the piece generation. I think at first I was like, oh, no, that's not, you're ruining the true nature of Tetris. And then you play enough of that and you're like, oh, actually, this is an interesting, like, you've made interesting stakes, and you've tilted the balance in favor of skill over randomness and whatever else, like there's a lot of stuff that, so, okay. So what, there was no you won, you lost. Also, I just get on the same high score table as I did when I played alone. So nobody wins? What do we... I put it to you that this version of Tetris is actually bad. Let's go with computer. If I fast drop below you, will you adjust, or you're just... Okay, all right. And the computer just sets up where it wants to go and just lets it slowly drop forever. No, fuck you. What do you think about that? The movement, the piece movement feels like noticeably worse in this co-op mode. Like moving left and right feels very... Yeah, that's exactly where that piece should go. The AI is great. Hey! You know what I mean? It just needs a hey. Okay, drop your piece in there so I can drop this and we'll get more lines. Push down on your D-pad, you piece of shit! You fuck face! You fucking garbage dump! This is terrible. Fuck this game. You know, it's easy to sit there and think that Tetris has always been Tetris, I guess is what I was getting at earlier, right? And my point is that, no, there's actually, like, kind of a lot of room to move. And a lot of room to improve when you think about these early takes on Tetris. What if I do this and make you really think about it? No, you got nothing. You got nothing interesting to do. You're just gonna drop these pieces straight down. But it does make you think that, like, you know, like when they originally made Tetris, there were strategies and concepts that they were simply not ready for. In a way that is almost like... You know, like they talk a lot about how, oh, combos in Street Fighter 2 were a happy accident, and they weren't really planning, you know. Like, it almost feels like that in a way, where, because Tetris is so fucking known and overly strategized and everything else, like the way we think about Tetris today is very different than the way that they thought about it in 87 or whatever it was. And so I'm over here thinking about Tetris Championship Edition, Tetris, Street Fighter, Tetris 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting. And they're like, no, dog, this is just Tetris. You can't even pick the same character. Anyway, this is not a great... Just one leaderboard. No matter the mode. That's also ridiculous. So, the music's okay by its own standards. It is what it is, but I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, this still somehow feels like an unlicensed video game. Tetris. The other one. Man, so, that's the thing is I've played this game before, but never really thought about it in a scientific sense. And so I think I still just thought like, well, that's the one that's got 2-player, and so that's probably the better version of Tetris and blah, blah, blah. But actually sitting here and thinking about this is noticeably worse than the official version of Tetris. Because those 2-player modes are so nascent and ill-conceived that they are bad additions to the game. These are things that drag the game down. You should look at it. You should be able to look at this and go like, oh, they got co-op and all this other stuff. That's really neat. You're like, no, actually, this super fucking sucks. And so this is certainly no Nintendo Tetris. By any stretch. Like, oh my gosh. Like, surprisingly so. I was certainly not expecting this. I was thinking like, oh, hey, well, it's going to be another Tetris, and Tetris is good. Tetris is still good, but everything they have built around this makes it worse. And so the kind of old rap on this being like, well, hey, first party Tetris doesn't really have the modes. It's really only kind of got like one thing. I'll tell you, like, when if we were just ranking Tetris games on it's their own scale, like, both of these versions of the game would not be super high on the list, right? I mean, they're just not, these early takes on Tetris. I think the only early Tetris that you would look at and go, yes, this is good, is probably still the Game Boy version, because presentationally it's wonderful. The form factor, the music, the multiplayer is better there. And so, like, both of these are kind of like not great versions of Tetris in the pantheon of Tetrises. But this is like, I think when we just take it on the platform, not only it is notably worse than the official Tetris. It's no Dragon Warrior. You'd be better off with a copy of RBI Baseball 2. Is Tengen Tetris better or worse than Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man? Is it better than Tetris 2? Definitely. It is definitely better than Tetris 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, like, this is not some kind of massive drop. It's probably somewhere in the hundreds or 200s or something like that, but it's no Low G Man, the Low Gravity Man. Batman the video game's a better game. As a solo player, it really only has the one mode, Because the AI is so bad, you would never want to do that. So its only real value is as a 2-player game. But even then, the lack of rules and the lack of, like, you are just playing 2 separate single-player games of Tetris, unless you're playing the co-op, which the co-op is just not a fucking great concept to begin with. But at the end of the day, Tetris is still Tetris, and so there is some inherent value there. Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse is a better game. Star Tropics 2 is a better game. But, like, it's better than 3D World Runner. It's better than Pipe Dream. It's better than Amagon. You know what? It's better than Snake Rattle and Roll. It's better than Abadox, but it's no Barai Fighter. It's our new number 118. That's a strange, yeah, I was not really sure what would be the read on this and what would be the actual, how this would fare, just because it's been so long since I've really looked at it, and you know, like I said, I had never really thought about it before, because, you know, just the rap on it was always like, that's got 2-player, it's a better game. I think that is crazy talk. But at the end of the day, Tetris is still Tetris. And so, it's our new number 118. Next up is a confusing, when you take the various regional names of this game into consideration and its sequel, it was a mildly confusing situation. But here, it's time for goal with 1 exclamation point. Oh man, an isometric soccer game? Was this developed by the same studio, by the same company that developed Play Action Football for Nintendo? Because this looks like there's something about the color palette and a lot of there's some stuff here that immediately reminds me of that more than just the isometric. Shoot! You're looking to shoot, cowboy. All right, let's do. Well, what does continue do here? Oh, look at this. Look at this. I like games that don't have a way out of the password screen. We got England, Italy, Japan, France, Brazil, Spain, Algeria, USSR, West Germany, Poland, Belgium, and Uruguay. Let's take Brazil. versus S-Pain. All right. I thought maybe that would be the pass button, but clearly that's the shoot button. Suck it. This color palette is insane to me. Kill him. Hey, get that. What are you doing? That's a who were you passing to there? Okay. No, that's, I mean, okay, all right. No, switch to him and get the ball. What? Player switching is very awkward and not great. Also, the players seem to just move way faster when you push up. This is pushing up. Like, it seems like if you are running upfield, it's just, you just move fucking way fast. Like, the whole game seems to just move way faster than if you're trying to do any kind of diagonal anything, which is awkward. I just passed it the wrong way. Hopefully there's someone over there. No? No one over there? Great. Kill him! Kill him! Oh, you're just not going to get that ball. You're going to walk right past that one and not pick up the ball. Great. Can you give me the fucking... Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Murder that man. That guy threw that ball right to me. Great shot. Great shot. This is like, it's your basic game of soccer, you know, like, hey, you can jack dudes, you can change players. Jack that dude. Jack that dude! Like, the controls are not super responsive. The isometric nature of the game makes movement really awkward. But as far as it being like a relatively arcadey take on soccer, like, it's fine, you know? Get it? What the fuck? No buzzer beaters here. Everyone loves the halftime show. This weird, like, the audio when you're moving upfield is really weird and bad. Like, it's not a good noise. I mean, it's a great noise, but it's not a good. Kill him! Kill him! Goalie, you gonna... Great. Yeah, faked him out. Got him real good. Seemingly no consideration for offsides or any of that other horse shit. Rules. Kill him! You can't just slide at will. It's like you're... It feels like every press of the button is like a dice roll or something, and it's like occasionally... So when you do slide, you definitely get the ball. But... it feels a bit like trying to steal in a basketball game. Where nothing happens until it happens. Yeah, great. Got you again. The ultimate fake out. Well, I guess there was, like, the computer just did a slide tackle attempt that did not succeed, so I guess maybe those can fail. But I still can't do them at will. Like, I can't. And the aiming is, like, there's something very... So here's an insane thing from the manual for this game. You can bend it after you shoot. If you hold down the B button while the ball is in the air, you can make the ball move. Yes, like one David Beckham may do. Like in that case, where I bent it to the right and then back to the left so that it stayed in. Okay, no amount of bending it is going to save that one. Can I get a player that's near the ball, please? Do you like? I don't know if it was visible. Like it seemed pretty plainly obvious to me that that was me maneuvering the ball like it was a video pinball for the fucking 2600. Oh, you had it! You were... I guess I need to listen for the weird chugging grind noise to know if I indeed have the ball or not. No, that's not gonna... Yeah. Yeah, triangle, motherfucker. No overtime, no overtime, huh? Not in the group stage. Sure. Okay. Algeria. So there's the World Cup mode, then we got a tournament mode here, which looks... Oh, these are... We got Kansas. That hotbed of soccer action. Kansas. Chicago, Dallas, LA, Atlanta, Boston, New York, and Miami. Okay. Shoot! Hansen with a sketchy looking N. Rocco or Juarez. I'm not... Oh, by the way, just totally different graphics over here. I kept waiting for the camera to scroll over and show all the action because it just seemed like it's not, but I guess... All right, 2 stars. Great. Is that good? 5 stars. We win. The shots are... I feel like the shots could be... You know, you don't necessarily want them fully automated or anything like that, but, like, these shots should be a little closer to being on goal. But I guess, like, that's... So that aftertouch system is clearly, like, that's their solution for this, is... Like, hey, you have 8-way movement. It's not an analog stick, obviously. This is not the era for that anyway. And so you need to apply aftertouch to every one of these shots. You need to bend it like it was Beckham. It's very weird. This is all very weird. Ah, okay. A filled-in star. Okay, goal. Goal! There's a sequel to that in the US. It's called Goal 2. They spelled out the TWO, which I think is a novel. That's a, I don't know. It is a very simplistic take on soccer, but that's what we got in this era, right? And that's why some of the soccer games in this era, I think, have been pretty good. Because they didn't get bogged down with all that soccer. Once you apply the rules to soccer, it's just like, what is even happening here? Just kick the ball, give it to the guy, kick the ball to the other guy, don't use your hands. Everyone gets orange wedges at halftime. It's fine, it's soccer. But the movement and some of the other stuff here in this game is just, you know, just not working out in its favor. To such a degree that I'm sitting here trying to think, like, is just soccer a better game? Nintendo's own soccer. I think it is, scientifically speaking. You know, when you think about, hey, you got 2 buttons, play a soccer game, like that's a decent take on it. This is like, goal is not terrible. The movement and a lot of that stuff is where it breaks down. And it is funny that this is also done by the same company that did Play Action Football, and I was able to pick that up within like 20 seconds of looking at the game. Just something about the way the number 1 looked below the player or something. I'm like, yeah, this looks a lot like Play Action Football. I love an isometric camera angle. I love it. But it does not serve the game very well here because the movement ends up being awkward. You know, your diagonal movement is much slower than your straight on movement. And so a lot of the things you would do to just get the ball from place to place, I think, is not well done. Your options when it comes to playing defense are limited to just like do a slide tackle, and that doesn't happen with any kind of regularity. I feel like this game just needs a little bit more auto aim on everything. The shots could be a little bit better, you know, instead of just being always like, oh, you hit it at a 45-degree angle, and so the ball's going to definitely go straight that way, and leave it to you to kind of like bend it in. I think if they had just like put a little bit more like, okay, we're going to make it so that the slide tackle homes in a little bit, and thus you can do it all the time. As opposed to just like you're behind someone and you're mashing the button and then occasionally it just decides to go like, okay, yeah, fine, you can have a slide tackle, and now you have the ball. It doesn't necessarily feel like you're in the right kind of control of the action, and that's a big problem. The midfield play feels really dull. Like it just, it feels like the pitch, the field, like it should just be smaller because like there's just nothing happening in the middle. I like the password screen with the cheerleaders. Like it's fun. I don't know. But and it's got that shootout mode, which then they just, they made, it's like Predator's big mode. Is Goal better or worse than Predator? I mean, this game does have a big mode, but it's only for the shootouts. Man. Predator really sucks. I think the thing to remember is as much fun as it is to talk about big mode, everything in Predator is shit. Goal is not a great game, but also it's acceptable. Goal is not shit. It's better than Predator. It's better than Super Pitfall. Goal is better than Deadly Towers. Goal is better than Target Renegade. Goal is better than Bases Loaded 2. It's better than All Pro Basketball. It's better than Gilligan's Island. It's better than WCW World Championship Wrestling. Goal is better than Tetris 2. Certainly better than Dance Aerobics. Goal is better than Legends of the Diamond. It is better than Magic Johnson's Fast Break. Is it better or worse than Rad Racket Deluxe Tennis 2? There are no rats in Goal. It's not that, I mean, like the Rad Racket and Goal are kind of on a similar plane of existence, Goal is better, but not by much. Goal is not as good as Ghoul School. It's no Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's worse than Cobra Command. It is worse than Stanley the Search for Dr. Livingston. Ultimate Quest of the Avatar is a better game. But it is better than Rad Racket Deluxe Tennis 2. So I guess it's our new 450. All right, Goal. Like, you could play Goal. If you rented Goal and were playing it with someone, you would not have the worst time in the world. Could you do better? Oh, naturally, you could. But there you have it. It's Goal. Okay. What's up next? Groz wanted to see this next one. They went ahead and announced a new one of these, or like a remaster or something. This is not the key version of this game. This is, it's one of those cases where like, hey, we ported this computer game to Nintendo. What's up with that? And what is up with that indeed? It is from your friends at Ultra Games, Defender of the Crown, the Cinemaware Classic? People have convinced themselves that Defender of the Crown is a classic, and they're wrong. but I don't know that I can't. It's hard to imagine this being the right place to play this game. Either way. In the year of our Lord 1149, when the king returned from the Holy Land, he knighted 6 great warriors who had carried him to victory over the infidels. The king's subject crowded the palace to see him grant each of the heroes a castle in its dominions. When the knights departed for their lands, one man, a Saxon, rode to Sherwood Forest. Oh, I'm playing. This is not a demo. That's like, I thought that was going to go to the next screen and show me something, but all right, we got Wilfred of Ivanhoe. He's average as a leader, but a good jouster and sword player. Strong swordplay, weak jousting, good leadership. Strong leadership, average jousting, good swordplay. Weak, strong, weak. Average, good, good. Is average, good, good what we want here? I don't... I think that's where I'm gonna go. You stop to visit Robin of Locksley. But your old friend has disastrous news. During your journey, an assassin took the king's life, plunging the kingdom into turmoil. The king left no heir. Robin says, I'm afraid it will mean civil war. Why, even the crown has disappeared. This is not the most readable font. Oh, hi. Okay. Great. Normans are assembling armies and Saxons will fight them. They accuse each other of killing the king and stealing the crown. The struggle ahead is a task for younger men, Robin says. Men like you. He pledges his aid 3 times if you will seek to reunite the Dark Kingdom. Ugh. Soldiers, knights, catapults, home garrison. Let's have a tournament. Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just have a tournament? The day of the tournament finds the lords at Ashby. Which lord do you wish to test your skill against? Let's go with Philip. I mean, I'm not here to not do the action stuff, you know? Like, I'm here to just fucking do the jousting and the sword fighting. Not here to stare at a freaking map. These static images not doing it for me. An expectant hush falls over the gallery. Spur their war horses into action. Did I win that? I assume I'm the guy on the left, right? Oh, wait. It has the unlicensed game noise. I think I'm whooping this dude's ass. I mean, I'm hitting him a lot. You just swing it where the sword ain't. Oh, did I get too tired? Okay. That little bit of this game appears in one of the TV Carnage compilations. Let's buy a knight. Battles rage across the land. Okay. 5 vassals and come to. Okay, I'm done reading the map. How do I get out of this? Okay, I'm done. There. Got to tell you, man, one of my least favorite things to do in a video game is to build up an army and then send some of them to a neighboring territory. Like, this is so limited compared to most of the other strategy games that made their way to this platform in terms of unit types and, like, you know, like this aspect of it of like, hey man, you can... Yay! A near miss. Thundering together. Prepare to joust again. Right in the face. Oh, jeez. And then right to this. No, like, yes, no, like, here's what happened. Just... The crowd cheers our victory. So what do we get for that? Do we get some money or what? Oh, we get to go again, huh? So it's like I can move my... there's no way that's... I'm getting bopped off, right? Oh, no, I got him. Okay. But then it goes right into this, and it's just like there's no real... Cinemaware is an interesting developer because they built a name on, like, hey man, we put some crazy graphics into our video games, but also all of those crazy graphics are like static images, and then they were mostly on computers, and just, you would load you'd sit there and let the floppy disk load up a picture of a knight, and you go like, huh, okay. And then you would have this limited kind of mini game style action, and then dump back to another cool close-up picture of a thing, and you go, But after playing those games like twice, you've seen all the fucking static images, and you're like, this sucks. These games fucking suck. And so I cannot think of a single Cinemaware game that I'm like, yes, this is the good one. Like people really liked Defender of the Crown, and I remember getting my hands on it for probably the Commodore 64, and just being like, what the fuck, dude? What? This is the game people have been like, this is great. Look at this picture of this castle. Yeah, Three Stooges is the only good Cinemaware game. And yeah, the Amiga games looked better, obviously, because those static images could have more color depth. And gathering your best swordsmen, you set off to raid the enemy castle. You arrive at twilight and conceal yourselves. Okay, now we're... Makes you long for the rich action of the Zelda CDI games. Oh, inside the guys are stronger. It's no Pirates as far as that style of, like, I think the sword play in Sid Meier's Pirates is actually quite good. No, no. Okay. Go rating. No, no, we don't. No. Conquest. Transfer. Move army. Well, I guess everyone went and snatched up all the territory already, huh? Okay. So do they still control this territory, or did I just move in and take it? Like, my horse is there. Oh, I guess I just own this territory now. Okay. So what happens if I move here then? You need catapults to besiege castles. Okay. So you can just kind of ride in and take over, I guess. But I didn't leave any army there to, like... Well, again, it doesn't look like you can have multiple armies. You've got a home garrison, and then you've got your army that's out going around doing shit. Oh, and if I can put castles onto territories. That's probably how you... Your army is attacked. Saxon blood taints the green fields of Cambridge. Oh, man. Okay, while I was moving a sword around the menu, all my dudes were killed, so... So that's pretty sweet. You guys want to have a tournament? I'm out here getting fucked up. I want to joust for land, man. We're racing for pink slips. So, I mean, it's interesting that you can put stakes onto these tournaments and all of that. It gives you something more than just the kind of typical right in the sword, right in the horse. Ah, come on. Like, it gives you ways to take territory that isn't just, build an army and move it over here and do this. There's like a little bit more. Ah, Jesus, we're dead. It is a black day. For those who bear your name, you have broken the laws of chivalry and are banished from the tournament. No longer will you be called a lord of the realm. Stripped of your lands, you return to an empty castle. Okay. Okay. So even though there was a flag there before and we took this area without having to do this, now we have to... I pushed the fierce attack button. All right, I guess that's that. Yeah, so I don't like the Cinemaware things in Defender of the Crown. Like it always just struck me as like more of a mini game collection of like bad mini games. You know, it kind of hung around this kind of strategic framework, and I don't think that's very fucking interesting. That's something that I think you can get away with on the Amiga. I think that's something where, you know, when you can kind of rest on like, hey, this looks a lot better than the average video game. I think that's something you can kind of look at and go, okay, yeah. And make that make sense. But here on the NES, where we certainly do not have the best looking version of the game, the nicest thing I can say about it is that like it doesn't have the load times that, you know. Suddenly your home castle is attacked. Brian Du Bois Gilbert mounts a furious assault. This may be your last battle. Your war is over. Okay. So we didn't even... All right. I guess I didn't have an army, so... Your men fought bravely, but luck was not with them. You send your men into secret passages underneath the castle, passing the word to meet and... Oh, that's right. The guy said he would help 3 times. So maybe this is like your way out. You will continue the struggle against Norman oppression, slipping away from the burning castle. You've got to keep fighting until the Saxon rules. Oh no, okay, that is in fact it. Okay, good. I think this game is a scam. I think this game is a... Again, you know, this was a time, and Cinemaware was right there ready to take advantage of it. This was a time when screenshots on the back of the box ruled the day. To the point where you would see, like, there was a point in time in the late kind of C64, early Amiga days where you saw this transition of the back of the box always had Amiga screenshots on it, even though it was not the Amiga version of the game. And somewhere in tiny letters on the back of the box, it's like Amiga screenshots on. Magazine ads were notorious for this, but sometimes you would even see it on the fucking back of a box. And it's fucked. And Defender of the Crown is, I think, a questionable game across all platforms. I think that like you could make a case for it on the Amiga. The C64 version of, you know, like the kind of 8-bit computer versions that I remember seeing. Because that's where all did this come out? Yeah. So okay, so this was Amiga first, and then they ported it all sorts of places. Like they ended up doing an ST version. I bet the Atari ST version is probably fine, right? Kind of right there in that same wheelhouse. They did a DOS version that But yeah, I remember seeing that C64 version and being like, woof, yikes, blech. Due to an interesting note here on the game's Wikipedia page, due to financial strains, Cinemaware decided to release the initial version without all the features originally planned for. Because of their need for revenue, some features were partially implemented but were removed so that they could ship, like flaming fireballs via the catapult, more locations, and more in-depth strategies. Some of those features were implemented in later versions of the game. So yeah, kind of once the game was a success, some of those other ports. Like the ST version has that fighting screen that the NES version also has. I guess that's not in the original Amiga version, which is sort of funny. Yeah, not a great game, but it never was. It's just in this kind of recontextualized environment of the NES, this stuff falls even flatter, right? Because you think about what sort of movement and what sort of things you could have done with a jousting mini game or sword fighting or any of this other stuff. Like, this could have worked a lot better. Like, the action could have been way more actiony. And so just in the context of this system, the Defender of the Crown kind of gets it from both ends. The action could have been significantly better when we look at how fast and smooth sprites and other things can move on this platform. If they had really sat down and thought about, hey, can we take advantage of what this platform is good at? They could have made a completely different game. Or they could have made completely different mini games that satisfy the same goals, you know, and had something that was way more playable in the process. On the other end, you've got a strategy game that is bested by a lot of other strategy games, you know, that just have a little bit more depth to them. So this feels like it is trying to be a light strategy game. I don't think it does a good job of like satisfying or scratching that itch. The action sucks too. And so you've got a game that is trying to be too much, and that's the only novel thing about it. That's something that I think gets by on computers because that novelty plays a lot better there. Here, yuck. Defender of the Crown. That was one of those announcements when they said, like, hey, we're going to make a new Defender of the Crown, which was not that long ago. It was like, fucking why? Why would you do this? This is maybe a decent place to start here. This Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord's a better game. You'd be better off with a copy of the Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. Dig Dug 2 Trouble in Paradise is a better game. Adventures in the Magic Kingdom is a more satisfying experience. But, Is it better or worse than Bart versus the World? It's a tough one. Personally, I think I would rather play Bart versus the World, but that game is... Yeah, Defender of the Crown is worse than Bart versus the World. It's worse than Gauntlet 2. It's worse than Skate or Die 2, The Search for Double Trouble. It's worse than L'Empereur. Speaking of... Oops. Strategy games with a little bit more depth to them. You know, it has some kinship with something like Best of the Best Championship Karate, a game that did not belong on consoles. Though the turbo, I mean, you know, Andre Ponza's kickboxing or whatever, like, you know, no. Even there, not a good game. Whatever. What's TurboGrafx games are for another day. It's better than the Black Bass USA. And so we're looking at this range here. Bayou Billy is a better game. It's like, okay, you know, this is better than Wally Bear and the No Gang. It's better than Sesame Street ABC. It's worse than Heavy Shreddin'. It's 576. On some level, you know, you could think like, oh, well, you know, you kind of want a lighter strategy game than what some of those Koei games did here. But I don't think that what they've done strategically is satisfying in any way. And it is then saddled with these unfortunate action sequences that are just bad. And so I like the basic idea of like, oh, what if I could use action to resolve these, you know, conflicts instead of just pure numbers. But they even kind of chicken out on that, to where when you're sieging castles and stuff, like, you know, you do still have to build your numbers and do all this stuff. It's kind of one of the nice things about a Sid Meier's Pirates is, you know, you do feel a little bit more like you can scumbag your way out of some situations by just being good at the action. Defender of the Crown, you know, there has a little bit of that, but not much. But also, you know, if you were completely undermanned in Sid Meier's Pirates and tried to get into a sword fight, you would in fact never win. Defender of the Crown, 576. Not a good game. Davis suggested the next game. I don't know that this is something that we needed, but it is something we got. From the land of potentially unnecessary sequels. Let's see. Let's find out. From your friends at Taito, it's Bubble Bobble Part 2. '93. Yikes. Yeah, not Rainbow Islands Bubble Bobble 2. And certainly not Parasol Stars The Story of Bubble Bobble 3. It's Bubble Bobble Part 2. Now it is the beginning of a fantastic journey. Let's make a journey to the Cave of Monsters. Good luck. So you've got what is effectively a better looking Bubble Bobble, and it doesn't have the music of Bubble Bobble. And so you might want to ask yourself, what in the fuck are we doing? And I think that's a very fair question to ask. Wait, what? Oh, I got caught in the water, huh? Okay, sure. This feels like a bootleg video game. Really troublesome enemies, these guys. No. Like, it feels like a ROM hack or like a bootleg, you know? This doesn't feel like a real thing. This cartridge goes for over $400. Yeah, you know, sure. It's like they said, because it's not an arcade game, we're going to give you more time to collect the fruits and shit, the ice creams at the end of the level. Yay. You know, no real fanfare there for like, hey, you beat a boss, you did a thing. Ah, goddammit. Okay. Thank you. fucking chain chomp looking ass. This is a game you could play. So am I gonna have to time it so that I get one of these at just the right level? And how am I gonna... Yeah? What happens when the music stops? Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, do we get... That guy immediately falls into that slot, too. Great. These levels just aren't, you know... It feels like, you know, this is, you know, when hacker groups released 20 different versions of Crackout for the Commodore 64, or 30,000 different versions of Lode Runner, even though they were all just like their own homemade levels. How do I... Okay. Like, I want to bounce on a bubble to try to ride it up, to get higher, to get out of here, but I can't... But I can't? Because they're moving a little too fast? Oh, if we hold the button. Sure. Some mechanics, baby. This changes everything. This is no good, man. This is I'm not, so the only thing I will hold in any kind of like high esteem when it comes to straight up Bobble is really the music. I think that even the gameplay of original Bobble is it wears thin pretty fast. But that game had more to offer original Bobble has more to offer in terms of power-ups and abilities and just like stuff. Like this having the ability to charge up and fly or float, I don't think is what you're really looking for here. And I think a lot of this, the art and stuff, I think looks like kind of grimy. I don't know. Like it's not a great looking game, especially for '93. But like, you know, just I will say that, you know, the ability to just kind of like inflate and fly around a little bit, like you can't just necessarily do it at will, but like I think that does sort of solve one of the annoying things about Bobble is that sometimes the movement just sucks. Like the bouncing on bubbles to get into this narrow gap and some of the other shit they have you do. I guess it really just wants me to send those up there to kill these guys, huh? Well, like, I don't think the backgrounds here make this an especially great looking game. I you know, it just, you know, moving platforms and stuff, like, that's kind of okay, but well, like I said, this really to me feels like a ROM hack, or just feels like, you know, some kind of, not a ROM hack even of like original Bobble. This feels like sometimes you find those games in MAME that are like, and there are plenty of them in MAME that are like shitty Bobble ripoffs with totally different graphics and styles and whatever else. And it feels like someone hacked that to add the Bobble graphics back into it. Is this an actual side-scrolling level? That's just weird. That bomb apparently blows up forever. So I really got to hit him when he's... I really got to walk forward and get him when he's... Yeah, that's a weird... The scrolling makes this... Man, this is... Seems like something like that is maybe the move here, but I need to does not get hit while I'm in the middle of doing it. Yeah, like that's the hard thing to get away from. As long as there's no time limit on this level, we will win. Oh, okay, I can hit him from here too, so that's actually a decent follow-up there, I guess. Oh, shit. Ah, man! Junior and Barcelona. Fuck you. No, what? What? Oops. Oh, I just want to sit down. Get some more cheeseburgers. I just wanted to get the pencil. Great. Good work. Yeah, this is a very unnecessary video game. You know? It's weird, man. Yeah, okay, yeah. The Shum says this whole game is like, what if you made a Kirby but it was complete ass? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, kinda. It does have that kind of like Kirby era glow to it or whatever. I don't think that this is I think that this is a worse Bobble. Ultimately, like they've expanded on it a little bit ever so slightly mechanically. They've given you these bonus stages. They give you a few more kind of boss fight and mini boss sort of, kind of larger enemies inside of the levels. It has backgrounds instead of just darkness, which I guess that's something. Ezekiel Jeans asks, was the first game good? I can't remember. The first game is a classic. I don't think it's a good game. But the music is fantastic. And at the time, as a co-op game, and it has some neat, weird tricks up its sleeve that are actually kind of fucked, because it's like, hey, you can't get the real ending unless you play it 2-player. And I think that's a really grimy thing to do in a video game. But yeah, this feels entirely superfluous. I think that the sequels to Bubble Bobble are weird in their own way. Rainbow Islands is like not an awesome game either, but it changes things up quite dramatically. Parasol Stars, again, I think that they at least did a good job of changing things up when we look at the actual official lineage of Bubble Bobble games. And so to get to 1993 and for them to say, like, we're going back to the roots, baby, with Bubble Bobble Part 2 is very funny. First and foremost, very funny. However, I don't think what they've added to the game here makes it a better game. I think what they've added to the game here actually subtracts from the quality. Musically, look, you're just not going to beat the original Bubble Bobble theme. It is one of the greatest little pieces of video game music of all time. You're not going to do better than that with your console-only sequel to Bubble Bobble 1. And they didn't really try to top it, I don't think. They kind of just made their own little soundtrack. I don't think it's very good. But that's a hard road, like what do you do? You could do a re-instrumentation of the original song and put it in there. That might have been okay. But that might be, that'd be kind of also like, oh, you couldn't even change the music. It's sort of a weird, it's a weird catch-22 when it comes to that. But that's really, I think that's pretty much the only thing I would say about Bubble Bobble that I really truly love is that song. Like the game itself, I think is more frustrating than fun. But yeah, this is weird. It doesn't feel real. It feels like very much like a fake video game. It feels very much like I said, that someone made a shitty Bubble Bobble knockoff, and then someone did a ROM hack of that shitty game to hack the Bubble Bobble characters and graphics back into it, And unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. And so when we think about this, I mean, it's certainly no Bubble Bobble. Which again, I think that this port of the game is not awesome compared to the arcade game. So I think that this port of it does have kind of its own issues. I think most of the original game does still shine through, scientifically speaking, even as someone who doesn't much care for Bubble Bobble. I mean, it is, it does have some cool shit in there. This doesn't. Unless you're really into that the volleyball mini game. It's no Sky Kid. You'd be better off with a copy of Xevious the Avenger. It's certainly not as good as Solstice, the Quest of the Staff of Deimos. Is Bubble Bobble Part 2 better or worse than Dino Wars Destruction of Spondylus Part 1? Dino Wars is a better game. As far as games where you shoot bubbles, Milone's Secret Castle is a better game than Bubble Bobble Part 2. You'd be better off with Alex DeMeo's Race America. maybe I'm overloading my USB bus. Maybe that's what I'm discovering here now that I've moved to a wireless mouse. I'm seeing way more of it. You maybe saw it while we were playing, that it was like ringing up the controller over and over again like it had just connected. It's still over here doing that. And it's doing it in conjunction with the mouse losing connectivity, which makes me think that maybe there's a little too much. Maybe I need to spread these devices out across another batch of ports. Play that fucking mindless jigsaw puzzle of moving USB devices around. Anyway, Wrath of the Black Manta is a better game. Alex DeMayo's Race America is a better game. Legacy of the Wizard is certainly better. Like, this is better than Airwolf. It's no Bomberman 2. Snake's Revenge is a better game. It's better than Toxic Crusaders. It is better than Isolated Warrior. It's better than Defender 2. It's better than Ski or Die. It is better than The Legend of Kage. Yeah, it's better than The Legend of Kage. It is better than Base Wars. It is better than Uncharted Waters. It's our new number 296. It's such a yeah, what a weird thing to make. What a weird thing to make. A direct sequel to Bubble Bobble in 1993. A game that already has multiple sequels to it, by the way. And there you have it. All right. Great. Moving right along. Anders wanted to see this next game. From your friends. Kemco. And Seika. Comes Uninvited. I believe this is the last of the ICOM Simulations releases that appeared on the NES for us to look at here. Yeah, a Mac game for sure. Not only on Mac, but yes. Much like Dark Castle and Marathon, a game that makes you think of the Mac. Look out! The last thing you remember before blacking out was a blinking spider, shadowy figure appearing in the road in front of you. I hate when that happens. You heard your sister cry out as you swerved the car into this tree. Okay, you realize that you are alone. Your sister must have gone for help. Ah, the sweet smell of gasoline. Pry yourself free of the steering wheel, intent on finding your sister. Oh, this is... This steering wheel has guided you in and out of traffic for a year now. It has a new leather cover on it. I mean, let's hit the steering wheel. We're mad about this. Oh, you're mad about wrecking the car. Leave. You can't drop what you didn't. Oh, it's not like leave. It's drop. You can't go through the door till you open it. All right, smart ass. I thought maybe that, like, opening the car door, it would scrape on the ground, creating sparks, and then the car would, you know. Oh, by the way. We're not going to show you that. Literally, this game opens with you walking away from an explosion. Already a pretty cool dude. At least it'll save you the cost of a tow. That's, you know, always look on the bright side of life, they say. You find yourself standing in front of a mansion, it gives you the creeps. I can't even, like, go back to the... I can't even move back to where the car was. That's just gone now. It's a marble statue of a young Grecian man. What about this one? Could there be mail inside? Man, these cliffhangers. Just fucking stealing people's mail. To Master Crowley. Open the envelope. The system of different displays inside of different displays inside of different displays. It begins to sparkle, and then the door opens and dares you to enter. Reads, Dear Master, please forgive me. My health prevents me from aiding you in your battle against the evil Drakan. You teach your students well. They become too powerful for their own good. Enclosed is an amulet that should look familiar. Wear this charm and think of me. The undead will surely fear it. Still the evil, my friend. Set it free for the sake of the family. Fare thee well. Can I use pendant? Self. Okay, so it's not really I don't equip it per se. A large and luxurious room. It does seem a little oppressive. We got an eagle, we got a snake, we got a star on the floor here. Is it like a don't tread on me situation here? Is that why this feels so oppressive? It won't open! 2 exclamation points! You idiot! The couch looks soft. You feel something hard sewn into it. Can we open couch? Can we talk to the couch? Quiet hallway. Hi. Just like Scarlett O'Hara. And she says, "Thank you for coming back for me, my love. You will be mine forever." Great. Great. This is how I wanted to go. It's fine. I like that that's in quotes. Use pendant on undead thing. Ah! That didn't really work, did it? They said the pendant would be good for the undead. I figured, you know, like a skeleton lady seems like... So does she come out of that door because I opened it, or does she... Okay, so if I try to do anything, she... What if I hit her? Yeah, it doesn't really work. Okay, well, maybe we'll just go a different way. This room was designed for deep thought and research. Open the mag book. About magic in general, magic is not good nor bad. If it is used properly, good may result from it. If it is not used properly, terrible things can happen. And you get a few magical spells. From nothing it shall form, and none shall see thee. Cloudy sea. Awake to a sleep, movement is still. 6 legs or more, bend to your will. Stillini. Stillini. If the path is barred with more than one, the storm to come to make them run. Thundidi. From here to there, when stone walls impair, telemaze. Ah, the book disappeared. Telling you, man. Okay, so we got a bunch of spells. Can I, if I keep it moving, will I just, yeah, I guess I could just do that, huh? Oh, good. The floor creaks under your weight. It's a giant stuffed fish. Can we open it? Pull open! This cursor sometimes... Sparsely furnished is probably a guest bedroom. It's a ruby. I'll take that. Just breaking into some dude's house. I got in a car. What did you do yesterday? I was fucked up, man. I got in a car crash and my sister disappeared. I just broke into this mansion and stole some jewels. Learned some magic spells. Before there was solid-state technology, there were big radios. Can I, like, sleep? It's a round wool rug. Yo, give me that axe. Ah, it's much brighter in here now. Iron bars set in the floor above the ceiling. Is someone kept in there as punishment for betraying the master? What's happening to me? The evil air that pervades the estate seemed to have invaded my very well-being. My head and chest feel heavy and thick. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. I'm sure everything I got is fine. Wait, is there no... I can't go back to the... I can't go back to the main room. Unless that's it? Yeah, okay. That ruby's probably not good for me. If I had to guess, either this game has a time mechanic and I need to find some kind of item to relieve the whatever murder thing that is happening, or that ruby is doing a number on me. wonder if... This does not work. Clearly. Okay. Pretty fast in and out after a death, you know, and like decent saves here, decent kind of auto save type stuff. Okay, well. Is she just there all the time now? Or she... Yeah, she is. Okay, well, I can still move around if I just am quick about it or whatever. Let's go back upstairs. There were still some rooms up there that we didn't... no. It's taking over your mind! You know that it is not your own! I feel almost at home here among the undead. No! I will find my sister! Knocks out arachnids. No ghost when you want the dead guests to return to their world. Okay, so can I use that on the lady? Pesticide. Sure, why not take a bowl? Hat box and a dirty box. Let me in that dirty box. Nothing in there. You close the dirty box. This hat has killed me. An evil presence trying to take over my body. I'm going insane! How long can I stand against this evil force? This hat's too small for your head, stupid. It's a jaunty tune. I mean, she's not a ghost. Fuck this, man. Like, there's a... At a certain point... Open the no ghost. Use the no ghost. Great. I mean, we still have to figure out how to get some, like, whether we need to get rid of this ruby. Just, you know, like, it should be implied that if I try to go through the door, just fucking open it. I mean, I do have some stuff for spiders, but... You are united with the massed horde of undead that inhabit this estate. You turn around to see your horrific new master, a blood-red skull, smiling fiendishly at you. Okay. Well. This is an impressive sight. I feel like I need to, before anything else can happen, like I need to find a place to dump off this ruby. This room's really cold. Okay. So I guess we weren't like X number of turns away from losing. That door is locked. Can you imagine that this is the game room? Wasn't there a key on the bed in that servant's room? Since I was just like rushing trying to find... You feel sorry for the animal to kill on sport. Aw. No! Alright, so like we... You should leave what you don't need here. What? Leave it on the side, not on the walkway. Man, if that's really what they like, if it's like specific to like, nope, you gotta. It's dumb. And is that ruby now gone? Like, is it just? Oh, all right. Plants in this greenhouse are very dead. Oh. Green buds, bro. Hella fucking horny fucking green buds though, man. No. Okay. Use water can. There. Starts getting heavy. Oh, hello. With a key in its hand. Anyway, let's water this plant because I assume something is going to come out of it and kill us. Just left the faucet running this whole time. I don't give a fuck. I'll pay the water bill here. Okay. I'm just curious. You know, if I can, what else can we, you know? Okay. I'm sure this is fine. Both sweetness and sourness mixed in your mouth. A year for every second. Your body blows away in the wind. All right. Oh, the old magisterium. I must say, this silver orb and spire decorate the door nicely. I'm sure that's fine. Oh, hi! The famous line from the famous film. Dogs. Why did it have to be dogs? This just sounds like some... That just sounds hot. You are overcome by the canine savagery. Like, what? I've been online too long. Anything else that can deal with dogs? What if I got a bowl full of water? The axe. What if I used a spell? Maybe you could use a spell? This one was for undead or something. This one was for turning invisible. You shouted Thundidi! Oh. Okay. Sure. You stand in solemn awe in this abandoned house of worship. As you fill the goblet, you see the altar move to the side. Oh. Sure, this will be fine. You really don't want to climb down there. A spider bigger than a bread box. Okay. Well, thanks for warning me instead of just killing me, I guess. Spider cider. Do we have to open it first? Don't I know it, man? So just let's make sure that I didn't like miss the Okay. It looks like a door, but it won't open. There's that fucking bird again. All right. You know, same basic interface as the other games. I think Uninvited is a pretty good one of these. Of the, was it the 2 or 3 of them, 4 of them? There's a certain level of fucking horse shit that comes with these games, you know what I'm saying? And it is some of the same stuff that Text Adventures did previously, about being real sticklers for opening things before you can go through them, and some of the inventory management is just, you know, this Russian doll of fucking inventories with a box in it that has an inventory of its own, that has a this, that has a that, you know, and that I think, you know, you could have done that better. But when you think about where these games came from, and that they're ports from, you know, other existing versions of games and stuff, I think it's a lot easier to understand how all of this stuff happened, right? Shadowgate is easily the most famous of these, I think, you know, as far as widespread acceptance. Like, Shadowgate feels like, you know, we got beyond Shadowgate, we got all the other stuff, you know, that happened after that, because people seemed to appreciate this style of adventure game even on the NES. You know, without a mouse, they do a fine job of translating that interface. It requires a little bit more patience to move around. They give you the shortcuts. You can kind of hit select to jump to the different areas, and that's not terrible. But it's a unique flavor of adventure that you don't really get on consoles very often at all. You know? Like that kind of early graphical adventure, that, you know, kind of very noun verb. You know, you're not even really moving a character around as you would be in a lot of the Scum Engine games, you know, when we get to the Maniac Mansion and Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders. And you know, like the indie games and all of that stuff, you know. For as much as these games, because that's, you know, this is in a lot of ways, it's a you know, getting its start on the Mac. This game looks better than the Mac version because of, you know, how the black and white Mac experience, I suppose, of that era. But there's something about the point and click adventure. You know, obviously this kind of goes back to graphical adventures and text adventures, and, you know, text adventures with graphics, if you will. Like a text prompt, but you still get to see a picture of a dungeon and see the doors and see the, you know, and look at the inventory, like look at all that stuff. Like they do that sort of stuff. And so we get here, I think, very naturally, because obviously the Apple II was a great home for a ton of text adventures, and later, you know, those kind of more graphical adventures. So by the time they realize, like, yeah, we should have a computer what uses a mouse, and we get the Mac, It's a natural and interesting way to kind of translate some of those concepts into a whole new interface. And that interface doesn't necessarily there's a little something perhaps lost in the translation to the NES, but it's really just a matter of fidelity, right? We're kind of trading the slightly higher resolution image of the Mac game for a full color display, slightly lower res, but still very effective at conveying that sort of stuff. And it's a particular flavor of adventure game that I appreciate on the platform. I have Deja Vu up here at 243. I'm trying to decide if this is better or worse than Deja Vu. I gotta plug this mouse in because it's being crazy. Maybe that'll be my weekend project, is unplug all the USB devices and plug them back in a different order and see if that helps. Let's plug that. Let's just plug it in and it'll work better. So we have Deja Vu at 243. Shadowgate up here at 210. I think this game is probably between those. Probably a little closer to Shadowgate. Than to Deja Vu, but let's look at the games on this list and see where we're at. You were way into this genre back then and you kind of hate it now. It's, patience is hard, man. When you're a kid and you have nothing else going on, it's a lot easier, I think, to just pluck away at these games. I'm the same way. It's you have a lot more time to just fucking poke at a thing and go, oh wow, and not necessarily get frustrated, or not necessarily get so frustrated that you stop playing. But now, yeah, I don't have a ton of I don't have a ton of patience for this type of adventure game anymore. And it's fine because they don't make very many of them these days. But and I'm a little more keen on the stuff that would happen in the years kind of immediately following this when we get to stuff like Maniac Mansion. I'm not a big Sierra guy. I really wanted to try Leisure Suit Larry, and then when I discovered it was not porny enough, I was like, these guys are fucking clowns. They're not serious about this. How could I trust them with policing or spacing if I can't trust them with fucking? And so, Sierra, no thank you. Make mine Lucas, as the phrase goes. But let's get this on the list here. So yeah, it's better than Deja Vu. It's better than NES Play Action Football. It's better than this port of Donkey Kong. It's better than Galaga, Demons of Death. You'd take it over a Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but this is kind of... It's no A Boy and His Blob, Trouble on Blobolonia. It's better than this port of Mario Brothers, but it's no Clax. Which has a blob of its own in the form of Blob Ball. This is our new number 217. And there we go. Yeah, those types of adventure games and the Lucas stuff especially, like this, the power of the Scum engine and the pre-Scum games and whatever else. There you have it. Uninvited 217. I guess I'd say I kind of just I ended up a little snobbish about those games to the point where we talked about it when Maniac Mansion came up here for the NES, but I think that NES version of the game, separate from the science, I think that NES version of the game is a travesty. I think it's an absolute piece of fuck. I don't want to fucking touch that. Mostly because of the interface, but I think just visually and graphically and music, like the things they do to that port of the game, I think they did it real dirty. When I think about playing that game in the original on a goddamn computer, that NES version of the game, I think is so grimy, and so many more people got exposed to that version of the game just by virtue of more people had Nintendos. That ultimately anyone playing that game in any form is probably something of a triumph, but man, oh man, I hate that version of the game. It's so ugh. Especially when I heard that they made it so you couldn't microwave the hamster, like the when they were like changing the game. I think that was. Let me tell you a little thing or two about video game censorship. Okay, strap in. It's about to get a little real. No, but yeah, no, I did not care for that version of the game. But there you have it. There's our list. 217 uninvited. Congratulations to video games. We'll be back next Friday with another batch of hot games. We got stuff. There's still big games here that could have huge ramifications for the top of the list. You got a DuckTales 2 on there. I don't think I've ever even played DuckTales 2. It's probably not better than DuckTales 1, right? But hey, maybe it is. But yeah, so we will get into another batch next week. Thanks to everybody for your support and making this a reality. It is crazy to think that we are this close. I've got my miracle keyboard over there. It is still in the box. I got to bust it out and kind of hook it up and make sure it all works. So those will we'll probably end up doing like maybe 2 special episodes, that one of which can't run on YouTube because it's for the porn games. And maybe that'll just go up on Patreon or something. I don't really know. But then we'll probably do something with the miracle keyboard as well. And then we're getting close to like I said at the top, there's maybe only 10 or 15 episodes left, depending on how many games get ranked every week. But we are getting there. And then there'll be a whole new thing after that. So yeah, that's very crazy. It's very crazy. I guess I'll spend this weekend moving USB cables around and see if that does anything for my weird mouse problems, my mouse and controller problems that have cropped up. But other than that, I'll probably be watching some marathon streams to see people bang their head against the new stuff while running the game myself, frantically trying to get to the high enough level to maybe try it on my own. But yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be back Tuesday for the podcast. And I'll see you then.